literally saw a grandpa crying because Somalia banned child marriage. No way. Where's the video?
mugdiya maalin madow ah shalay baarlamaanka wuxuu u soo saaray ama uu go'aan ku gaaray wax la aqbali kar ma aha annaga muslim baan nahay boqolkiiba muslim baan nahay.
We are coming out to say end child marriage in Africa. Enough is enough. From Somalia to Nigeria to Ghana to Ethiopia to Uganda. Nigeria and Africa has practiced for a long time under our nose child marriage, and today we are here to say enough is enough.
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi Leah. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome to the channel, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back once again. So today's video is something that I struggled with making because this story has been trending for maybe 2 weeks or even over 2 weeks now, but I really struggled because this is something that even while doing research I couldn't stop the tears from flowing. So recently, the Somali government actually proposed to pass a bill that was going to ban child marriages. And of course, by child, we're talking of female children, not the boys. Nobody is interested in marrying little boys. They want to marry little girls. And we're speaking of girls as young as 9, 10, 11, basically under the age of 18. So the government of Somalia proposed to pass a bill that was going to make it illegal to marry any girl child before she turns 18 years old. And a lot of people were so excited about it because this child marriage thing is something that a lot of cultures, a lot of countries, both within Africa and even outside Africa, from the videos that I've seen during my research, it is something that is prevalent in these different countries and cultures. So a lot of people were already commending the Somali government, and you will not believe the reaction of some of these Somali men when they heard about the possible ban on child marriages. There was this video of an old man who I believe should be probably in his 70s or so that went viral. He was actually shedding tears.
Shalay Somalia waxay u ahayd maalin mugdiya maalin madow ah shalay baarlamaanka wuxuu u soo saaray ama uu go'aan ku gaaray wax la aqbali kar ma aha annaga muslim baan nahay boqolkiiba muslim baan nahay Soomaali Ilaahay laga cabsado arintan arinka hortag u baahan waaye aabay culimadeena Soomaaliyeed aabay culimadeena Soomaaliyeed waarithal anbiyaa baatihiin idinkaan hadal maqalnaa maxaa dhacay maxaa loogu aamusan yahay arintan aaway sheekh Somow aabay ma noolamiya aabay sheekh Shaakir ma noolamiya war aabay culimadeena Ilaahay ka cabsan war Ilaahay ka cabsan Ilaahay u laaban sheekh Maxamed Maalin Abshir aabay sheekh Nuur Cali Jimcaale aabay war Ilaahay ka cabsan sheekh Cabdirasaaq Ashari aabay war Ilaahay ka cabsan war Ilaahay aan ka cabsano arintan arin la aqbali karo ma dadkan wana rogayaan Ilaahay aan ka cabsano war Ilaahay aan ka cabsano arimahan laga hortago arimahan arima la aqbali karo ma 18 sano gaalay qoran tahay caruurtooda ku qaan gaaraan annaga inaan ku raacno ma aha nabiga sallallahu alayhi wasallam qaalif al mushrikiin buu nafaray inaan mushrikiinta khilaafnana la faray Ilaahay aan ka cabsano war Ilaahay aan ka cabsano war Ilaahay aan ka cabsano.
When I saw that video, the kind of disgust that flowed through my body watching a grandfather cry because he will no longer be allowed to marry someone who is old enough to be his grandchild. This is unbelievable. And from the video, you can see him talking about how marrying off a child, a female child, is part of their Islamic culture and Islamic heritage or Islamic religion, and how if they have to wait till these girls turn 18, that will be them putting aside their Islamic belief and following the Western culture. This is it's crazy. Please, at this point, I need to ask if there is any Muslim person watching this. Is it really part of the Islamic religion? Does the Islamic religion condone children being married and bringing children into this world?
sharcigan la leeyahay baarlamaanka federaalka ayaa ansixiyay oo carruurtu waxay ku qaan gaaraysaa 18 ama 18 sida u taqaano waxa waaye annaga haddaan nahay muslimiin muslimaad muuminiin mu'minaad nama khuseeyo waxaa dhacay annagu waxaan aaminsannahay shareecada islaamka oo warkii Allah ah iyo warkii nabiga calayhi salaatu wasalaam taas ayaan aaminsannahay sharcigaanuna oo ah inay ciyaalku ku qaangaarayaan 18 sano shareecada islaamka waa baalmarsan yahay wuu khilaafsan yahay waa ka soo horjeeda saa darteed annagana ma khuseeyo muslimiin muslimaad mu'miniin mu'minaad haddaan nahay nama khuseeyo cod dheer ayaana ku sheegayaa inuusan na khuseyn maxaa dhaca shareecada islaamka ayuu ka soo horjeedaa maxaa dhaca shareecada islaamku waxay leedahay waxaa waaye waxaa lagu qaangaarayaa calaamado la yidhaahdo calaamadaha qaangaarka gabadhu haddii dhiig isku aragto iyadoo 9 sano 10 sano 11 sano jirto haddii dhiig caadi isku aragto way qaangaartay sidoo kale wiilka haddii uu riyoodo oo isku arka asigana waxaa waaye biyo uu isku arka asigana wuu qaangaaray asoon weli yagoon weliba 15 aan gaaray
gabadhii allah gabadha yarkaan allah gabadha yar
yariiska dayla
oo cadaan
ha ilaahay ku sala shaqo ilaahay ku sala
adeer waxa kale madrasada riyaalka xaqta bismillah
aniga ciyaalka bisaaba rabaabo
pedophile way bisinta
wax kala maraba aniga
sheekhay shalay waxaa jirta fiidiyo sanado live ku jira ka daway soo dhigay oo dhaysid aan gabar yar rabaa oo dooqay ah gabdhii marka aad bay ku socay maxaa arrintaas ka leedahay dambi maada galaan eeyga ku gafaayay sheekh
maxaan aniga gabadha rabaa daa ma sabbi
maxay waxay
dambiyan galay
waamay
adeer waxani waa caadi annagoo markaan gursanaynay 3 maalin afkeeda biyana ma aanay saarin cuntana iska badaa warkeeda marka waxani wax la yar maahan gabdhuhu way xishood badan yihiin marka ay gabdho ay yihiin guurkana ay ku cusub yihiin marka waxba la yaabin adeer waxaan ku leeyahay keep going shaqada halkaas ka sii wad haniya jabi saaxiib salaamaya garweyne ila mid ahaatay saaxiib don't worry no walwal no jahanja brother ma fahdaadayga
My babe. And to people's utter shock and dismay, just the very next day, we're talking 24 hours after this bill was proposed, it had to be cancelled. Yes, you heard me right. They had to cancel the bill, meaning that child marriage is still legal in Somalia. And why was it cancelled? It was cancelled because of the online protest by these grown men in Somalia.
I knew I made the mistake of praising the Somali government way too early because guess what? They already reversed the decision not to marry off children. Let me be actually specific, not to marry off girls, because I have never seen a case where a Somali boy under the age of 18 has been forced to marry off to a grown-ass woman. It's never happened because they actually let boys grow up and actually get an education. But for God forbid a girl gets her period, she's automatically old enough to be carrying a child around when she's 9 years old. And if you bring the Prophet's name up, you're getting Dumebi for that. I hope you guys know that every time somebody brings up the Prophet's name and slanders him by saying that he married a child, you are slandering the Prophet and you are getting so much sin for that. It has already been proven that Aisha was way over the age of 16 when she married the Prophet and didn't consummate the marriage until she was way over 19. The only hadith that says she was under that age is the one that has never been verified, but guess what? Perverted men have stuck to that one because it fits their narrative to continue to marry children and abuse children. Y'all are getting so much Dumebi for that because when you see pictures like this where the little girl literally cannot physically be around that man, the imam that participated, the parents that participated, the man that did it, all are getting Dumebi. You are all going to the deepest parts of hell for that. Somalia will never be a prosperous country because they continue to abuse women and children and worship Qabil. That is literally why that country will never be prosperous. There's not a law that prevents men from abandoning those children when they marry them and force them to have children. There's not a law dictating that they continue to take care of the children that they forced to have. There's no law forcing a man to actually fulfill his Islamic obligation onto his wife. But guess what? They all decided they wanted to marry children, so now the law has been reversed. The one time I thought our government was actually going to do the right thing, it got reversed because there are perverted men in the Somali government too. And men do not make decisions that protect women and children because they don't care about women and children. They only care about themselves. And in the Somalia's case, they only care about themselves with their Qabil because they worship Qabil more than they worship Ilahi. I've never seen a Somali man die over Islam, but guess how many times I've heard of a Somali man dying over his Qabil? That's all I gotta say. And to anybody that's about to come in my comments saying, why am I spreading our ab everywhere? You guys understand it's ab. You guys know it's ab. You know it's disgusting. And you want me to keep it quiet instead of actually speaking out about this. This decision will eventually happen. One day we will move forward as a people and actually stop child marriages. And that day will come soon. But it will happen after we continue to embarrass Somalia in the news, in the media, in the Western countries. Because until they are shamed into making progress, they won't do it.
I just woke up and I am very upset. tell me why? Yesterday we were celebrating International Day of the Girl Child, and quite frankly we thought we were making progress, and people have been talking about, oh, we can be fighting for gender equality because we're leaving the men behind and all of that. Tell me, why is Somalia doing this to our girls? Let me read it for you. It reads, and I quote, Somalia announced a ban on child marriage, and reports say the charter was rejected just 24 hours later because they're claiming it's not part of their religion, and because the men took it to the streets crying and saying they cannot afford not marrying girls. Let me read this for you. Over 45% of Somali girls are married before 18, many before 15, and these are not wives. They are girls robbed of their education, anatomy, and often their lives. By refusing to uphold the 18-year minimum, Somalia didn't just reject a clause, they rejected its daughters. All we're saying is 18 years old. If you ask me, I would even say 25, 21, because an 18-year-old girl cannot even make her own decisions. They don't even know who they are. Now, the men are saying, no, it's not part of our religion, and it's not part of our constitution. And if it's not part of our religion and our constitution, why are we upholding it? But these are lives of women and girls. Are we even real? No. What we don't understand is this is not even making sense. Like, my heart is so heavy right now. I don't even know what to say. Like, I can't even put how I'm feeling into words, because make it make sense. We are literally depriving women and girls the right to education, the right to be free, the right to be free, to be able to make their own decisions, to be able to say, no, I don't want to get married now. No, I want to go to school. I want to be a pilot. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a teacher. What are we doing to our girls? What are we doing to Africa's future? Oh my God, no. No, this has got to stop. It's like we make 5 steps forward and we make 100 steps backwards, because this is not only affecting the girls in Somalia, it's affecting all of us in Africa. It's affecting you and me as a girl. Ugh.
I just saw a video of a 73-year-old Somali Muslim man crying because a bill that would raise the legal marrying age to 18 was proposed in Somalia. Not passed, proposed, which means just brought up in consideration. This man wept, cried, tears. Now you don't like to get in other country affairs and stuff like that, but tell me what the fuck your old ass is doing getting on the internet crying about your right to marry children. And if you're curious, it was rejected.
I was tagged in a video where a grown man was crying so hard because he would not be allowed to have a child as a wife. And I'm like, as Africans, are we really ready for African unity? These are the things I will always point out. If you want to marry a child, and in Ghana we will not allow you to marry a child, how do we unite on this basis? Or are we uniting and then telling somebody to stop this kind of tradition? Look, even there was a law that was implemented to prevent these people from doing this immoral things to children. They reversed it because they get so many pushback from the people that the government has to reverse it. And you are talking about Africa, you don't even respect children. You don't have love for the kids, the babies, the little girls, 11-year-old. What does an 11-year-old girl know to be married to somebody? Like, please, at least make it 18 years, make it 20 years. Why do these men want to do this to these young girls? And you're talking about Africa unity. See, the problems in Africa, that's you, most of you African, you do not want to go down and dig out and bring out all these dirty linens in our closets and fix them. And yet you hypocrites sit on social media and talk about, oh, Africa unity, Africa unity. You see what Mali is doing right now? Mali has decided to ban the US. They said they have to pay $10,000 before they can come there. That is the pushback. You have to start from somewhere, but your leaders are not ready to start from somewhere. All they know is go to UN and give speeches upon the best speeches And then some of you will be happy to hear the speech and you're, oh, look at the speech they are giving. Oh God, Africa is no. The speech cannot make Africa move forward. It's the action that can make Africa move forward. And your leaders are not ready. Your leaders are willing to rule for 100 years and 200 years. Look at Paul Biya. This man is almost 100 years. Instead of him to retire, he wants to be president and die on the seat. And you are telling me Africa unity. Are you for real? You think Africa unity is just about the mouth or it's about the action? What actions are we putting in place for this Africa unity to really work? Or we are just saying it for social media gimmicks or for just loudness? You see, most people do not agree with me. I understand. But if you do, please do critical thinking and do your own research. If I'm doing something wrong or I'm really telling the truth.
What is this? This is awkward. This is weird. She's terrified. She's not smiling. Body language, stiff, uncomfortable. Yeah, wedding's supposed to be joyful. She's frozen. This is weird. This is forced marriage. Hello, what is this? Right? This is not love. It's literally obligation. Damn, pressure. What? And get this, somewhere down the line, religion was used to justify this video. To justify this. What? I'm not saying religion allows this, certainly doesn't, right? But religion was used to justify this. The guy is dripped up like a Malin. He knows what he's doing. This is weird. I feel so sad for this young lady. Why do we have this in our community? Can we get rid of this? Appreciate that. Let's respect her. Let's make marriage happy.
There's a video circulating of a grown old man literally crying because child marriage was abolished.
arrimahan arrima la aqbali karo ma aha 18 sano gaalay qoran tahay carruurtooda ku qangaaran annaga inaan ku raacno ma aha nabiga sallallahu alayhi wasallam qaal fal mushrikiin buna faray inaan mushrikiinta khilaafnana la faray ilaahay aan ka cabsano war ilaahay aan ka cabsano war ilaahay aan ka cabsano.
I need you to sit with that information for a couple of minutes. Sit with that information for a couple of minutes and think about it. Why would a grown man looking like he's in his 50s or 60s cry because the childhood of young girls in his country was restored? What do you do with a 12-year-old as a wife? This is how ridiculous patriarchy is in some levels. It's scary. This is a time where all women need to stand up and say no to child marriage. Let girl children get to a consensual age before they can go into a marriage. And for most countries, I know it's either 18 or 21. Let the girl child grow to maturity before they can take a decision of wanting to get into marriage. This is ridiculous. And guess what? In under 24 hours, that law was revoked. In under 24 hours. In other words, the law was cancelled in under 24 hours. Men in that country cried so hard, took to the streets so hard, that the government that just ratified a law, it takes time for a law to go through and finally get to the final stages. After all the time it took to get to that point, men just cried so hard, the government went back on its words and revoked that law. So in that country, yet again, children can go into marriage at the age of 10, 11, 12, 13. Like, men, what do you want to do with a 12-year-old in your house, for example? Ah, Jesus. So, apart from the women going online to kick against child marriages in general, and specifically to the country of Somalia, who passed this law and then went back on the law in under 24 hours, I think this is the right time to call on men as well, right-thinking men as well. Women cannot do this on their own. I'm sure there are men out there who agree that marriage between an adult and a child is a no. This is an opportunity for you, for once, to join the fight, to make something better for your children and the children in the world. No to little girls being robbed of their childhood and their dreams and their ambitions. We say no to this. This is a good time for you as a right-thinking man to join the movement and hold other men accountable for ridiculous things like this. It's disheartening. No to child marriages. No to child marriages. No, just no.
Now, watching these videos of these little girls, little children, you can see them obviously sad and shy, and they don't even know how to act during their weddings. and then they are just looking very timid and unhappy. And beside them, you see someone who is old enough to be their father, their grandfather, grinning with happiness and pride, like he just got a new pet and he can't wait to devour. And then I'm seeing clips of little children holding little babies that they bore. As someone who is a mother who has gone through childbirth, and I tell you that is one of the most, not even one of, that is the most painful thing I've ever been through in my life. So imagine these little children not only having to lose their virginity to someone they probably can't even look in the eye because of the age gap and because of how young and innocent they are. Not only do they have to go through that, they have to go through pregnancy and the pains of childbirth, and a lot of them do not even survive this. And the truth of the matter is, it is not just Somalia that does this. A lot of other countries, it even happens in my country, Nigeria. If we are to be realistic, it's happening in areas where people are religious fanatics. It is happening in areas that are poverty-stricken and where there is a high level of illiteracy. In a lot of these rural areas, yes, a lot of our people are moving past that era due to westernization, education, exposure, but there are still some places where this still happens till this very day. And my heart bleeds for these little girls. And if anything, I am glad that the world is seeing this and talking about it now. And I really hope that something positive comes out of this for the sake of those little girls. And it makes me wonder, what is even the impact of this kind of thing when it is prevalent in a country? Is it not affecting the economy of the country? Where instead of educating your citizens and allowing them make something positive of themselves so that they can be able to contribute positively to society, you are forcing them into marriages with men that are quarter to the grave. So what happens? A lot of these girls end up becoming single mothers because these men are obviously going to die way ahead of them, and these little children are left raising little children. Please help me understand how that is of any benefit to the economy, to the country, and even to the little girls and their little kids as well. And just like this lady said, it makes me wonder, this is one of the reasons why Africa cannot be great, because how are we going to even unite when we have so many contradictory beliefs and cultural practices? This lady was saying the very same thing, that obviously people who do not believe or condone child marriages may not see themselves as one or even want to be associated with people who believe in that. So that alone causes a divide. And this video will not be complete if I do not speak about this Zambian humanitarian, the lady with a heart of gold, Dora Muno-Yambe, who actually passed away last December. She did a lot of work for children in Zambia. This lady actually uprooted her life from the city and went to the rural village and built a school, adopted so many children, saved a lot of children from cases of abuse, fought a lot of cases of child marriages to free those children from such evil marriages. She did a lot to help children, to help little girls. And at the end of the day, her life was taken.
On the 25th of December 2024, the nation got to hear of the untimely demise of Dora Muno-Yambe, an incredible young lady, a teacher, a caregiver, a mother to over 500 pupils. She created a school right here in Mapapa village in Luena district near Mukushi. And we came here truly under the instruction of the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, who's inspired by the phenomenal work that she's done since 2020, establishing the school that essentially not only caters to over 500 pupils, she's taken children out of very difficult circumstances, children who were involved in early child marriage, involved in all sorts of situations where there's child abuse and all things of that nature, and being put in a safe haven where they could be housed, they could be clothed, they could have free food, free education, and all the factors that truly make for a better living standard for a young person. Now, the name of the school is Footprints of Hope, and it truly is an inspiration. It's even inspired multiple donors from across the world, including the famous Mr. Beast, the world's biggest YouTuber, who essentially helped make provisions for multiple elements of support here, including a phenomenal large-scale solar plant that essentially has rendered this place off-grid. In addition to having electricity, they've also got access to connectivity with Starlink, and it's really a technological, not only a technological marvel, but really the infrastructure, from the basic infrastructure to what is utilized for the learners to learn, is truly at a standard that we can all be proud of, particularly within a rural setting like here. Now, as you can see, I'm wearing a t-shirt stating, "I am Dora." The reason we have this on is because the legacy that she's leaving behind is one where the work that she's done should continue. Her untimely demise should not mean that the work that she's done should come to an end.
A popular philanthropist on TikTok by the name of Dora Munoyambe has died, and everyone is asking questions. Some people are already speculating witchcraft. The 33-year-old Zambian educator with over 4 million followers on TikTok was said to have lost her life at an undisclosed hospital in Zambia on the 25th of December 2024 on Christmas Day. After it was said she rushed herself to the hospital, most likely the day before, because she was experiencing some unusual medical episodes that causes her to suffer blackouts from time to time. She didn't understand what was going on, it was new, it was strange, and because of that, she took herself to the hospital. Unfortunately for her, she did not come out of that hospital alive. It's important to know that as at the time of making this video, her exact cause of death has not been revealed. However, her fans, people who know her and love her, are already speculating a possible cause of death, many of whom are suspecting is witchcraft and quote-unquote the village people.
I cannot end this video without talking about her. I want to give her her flowers. I actually never knew who she was until I started researching this topic of child marriage, and the way she fought and dedicated her life to fighting for these children is quite commendable. God bless her soul. God rest her soul. And a lot of people actually believe that the community where she was doing this good work, some of the people did not like what she was doing. Of course, the men who wanted to keep marrying children would not like what she was doing. People are believing that they had a hand in her passing, which at this point I do not know, allegedly, but I mean, I would not be surprised. And this is one of the reasons why things like this are still happening in Africa. Because when somebody rises up to liberate our people from the shackles of this evil that is happening, somehow the people who keep perpetrating this evil cut their lives short. And I really wonder when Africa will be free from all of this. This topic is quite heavy on my heart, and I really pray that no little girl is forced into any child marriage and has to go through the experience of a terrible marriage and having a child, all the health issues, all the emotional and psychological issues that come with it. I really hope that no little girl has to go through that. But you guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.